everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. So today we'll be learning how to cut and sew princess dart. So if this looks like what you're interested in, definitely continue watching. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Lillian. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, share so that to actually get to a wider audience. Thank you so much for your support. Let's get into it.
Using two different akara or whatever fabric you want to use. So what you saw at the beginning of this video is what we are going to learn. So what I have here, this is my guideline. Okay, so I created my guideline, which is also my shoulder line. So this is the front pattern, then this is the back. So I have my chest line here, I have my bust point, I have my waistline, and then I have my hip line. Okay, so this is from my shoulder line now to my hip line. So for the back pattern, it's also the same thing. This is my shoulder to my chest line, this is my waistline, and then this is my hip line. I'm going to come over here. So for my neckline, I'm going to make the neck depth 3 inches and then the neck width 3 inches. So after doing that, what you're going to do, divide your shoulder to shoulder by 2. So mine is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. So after marking my 7 inches here, I'm going to bring it down to my chest line. So after bringing it down to my chest line, I'm going to create a straight line. After creating a straight line, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch as my shoulder slope. So whatever you use as your shoulder slope, go ahead and use it. If it is 1 inch you use, go ahead and use it. Okay, so you must not alter it. We are still going to arrive at the same point. So this is it for my 1.5 inch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide this into 2. I'm going to find the midpoint of this by folding my tape into 2 like this. So whatever I have there, I'm going to mark it as my midpoint. Okay, and then from that point I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. I'm just going to connect it like this. So I always review my measurement from time to time. So I reviewed my measurement of recent, and then my front arc is 18.5 inch. So for now I'm going to be using 18.5 inch as my front arc. Just in case you are new here, we don't divide our round ball circumference by 4 here. So what we usually do, we take measurements of front arc. So front arc is like you taking measurement of one side of your bust to the other side of your bust, just like it's being displayed on the screen. Remember, you have your bust at the front and then there's nothing at the back. So you don't need to put in the same circumference you're putting at the front, at the back pattern, because at the end of the day, you have your bust at the front and then there's nothing at your back. So that is why we usually take measurements of front arc. So hope this makes sense. So measure from one side of your bust to the other side of your bust. Whatever it is, you are going to divide it by 2. So mine is 18.5. So I'm going to divide 18.5 by 2. So I'm going to fold my tape into 2, as you can see. So whatever I have left now, I'm going to take that in. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to mark it. So whatever yours is, fold your tape and then mark. So after doing that, I'm going to take my curve ruler now, and then I'm going to create my armhole. So make sure this point is hitting the other 1/2 inch you measure there, and then the other side is hitting this point like so, and then create your armhole like this. So after doing that, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to come over to your waistline. So whatever your waist circumference is, you're going to divide it by 4. And then I'm going to connect a straight line. After doing that, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over to my hip line. Just like we did on our chest line, we are also going to do the same thing on our hip line. So what you're going to do now, you are going to measure your back arc. So in case you are joining us for the first time also, we don't divide our round hip circumference by 4 here. So what we usually do, we measure back arc. So back arc, just like it's being displayed on the screen, is like you taking measurement of half of your back circumference. You measure from one side of your hip to the other side of your hip, because our front is flat. Okay, your front hip is flat while you have your butt at the back. So that is why we usually do that. So what you are going to do now, after measuring whatever it is, mine is 22. Mine is 22. So after measuring whatever yours is, you are going to note it down. So mine is 22, like I said, and then my round hip circumference, I'm making use of 14 inches. So what you are going to do now, you are going to minus your back arc from your round hip circumference. So hope this makes sense. So measure your back arc from one side of your hip to the other side of your hip, just like I said before, and then we are going to minus it from your round hip circumference. So mine is 22, my back arc is 22, while my round hip circumference is 40 inches. So I'm going to minus this 22 from this 40 inches, which is my round hip circumference, and then I'll be left with 18 inches. So that 18 inches I'm left with is what I'm going to divide by 2 and then impute on my front hip line. So hope this makes sense. So this is 18 inches. I think I'll be left with 9 inches. 18 divided by 2, I'm just going to fold. As you can see, I'm left with 9 inches. So I'm going to mark my 9 inches here, and then I'll use my curve ruler and connect. So whatever you use as your nipple to nipple point, you're going to go in by that inches. So I use 4 inches. So your nipple to nipple point divided by 2, go in by that inches. Mine is 4. I just marked it there, and then on my bust points, I'm also going to mark it, and then from that point, I'm also going to come down by 6 inches. I hope this makes sense. So here to impute my underbust. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to impute my underbust. So guys, at this point, whatever works for you is what you are going to do. It's not a must that you do what I'm doing. If you know taking measurements of your underbust from your shoulder to your underbust works best for you, then go ahead and do it. For me, I'm going to be using this. Like I said, whatever works for you is what you are going to do. If you still feel like you want to use this method, then go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so this is it. So I'm going to take it off now. So whatever I have here is what I'm going to take as my underbust. So this is it for my underbust. So I'm just going to create a line like this, and then I will label this as my underbust. So whatever you use as your side dart, you are also going to impute it. I'm going to impute my side dart now, and then I'm going to connect it straight to this point where I have my dart leg. So after doing that, what you're going to do next, you're going to come over here. Okay, you're going to come over here. You're going to go add by 0.3. Okay, so this formula is actually for waist cinching. That is because I want to cinch the waist. So this is half inch. This is 1, 2, 3. So you're going to come out by 0.3 on your chest line, and then do the same thing on your hip line. Also go add by 0.3. So this makes sense. So after doing that, take your straight ruler and then connect both points together. After connecting, what you're going to do, so as for me, I'm going to use 1 inch. Okay, so if you don't like dresses that are too tight, you don't want your waist to be too cinched, you can actually use half inch or this 0.5 or 0.6. okay, so that it will not be too tight. So for me, I usually use 1 inch. I'm okay with the result I get anytime I use 1 inch, so I'm going to go with my 1 inch. So hope this makes sense. So on my waistline now, I'm going to go add by 1 inch, and then I'm going to go add by 1 inch on the other side. Then I'm going to create my dart leg. After marking my 1 inch on both sides, I'm going to bring the same measurement here. I'm also going to go add by 1 inch at this point. So at this point, I'm also going to go add by 1 inch, and then I'm going to create a broken line like this. Okay guys, so hope this makes sense. So open up this point. Opening it up, go ahead and close your side darts. So carefully close your side darts. After closing off, so as you can see, this line that is broken now, all you need to do is to take your tracing wheel and then take it back to your chest line like this. After taking it off, whatever you are seeing there, use your marker and then trace it out. So after tracing it out, all you need to do is to take it down to your waistline. Okay, trace it out and then take it down to your waistline. We are going to come over to the back. When we are done with the back, before we style the front properly, from your center back, you go in by 3 inches. Okay, remember you use 3 inches at the front, so do the same thing here. Go in by 3 inches, and then for the neck depth, I'm going to use 1.5 inch. So guys, after doing that, what you're going to do, divide your shoulder measurement by 2 and then go in by whatever inches you have. So after doing that, you're also going to bring the same measurement to your chest line and then create a straight line. So like I said before, it actually depends. So I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch. So whatever you use as your shoulder slope, go ahead and use it. Okay, So after doing that, also find the midpoint of this point, and then I'm going to go in by 0.4 also. Then I'm going to also connect like this. Okay, so after connecting, I'm going to come over to the chest line. So remember what we did at the front. We measured our front arc and then we divided it by 2. That was what we used at the front. So what you're going to do for your back chest line, you are going to minus whatever you use as your front arc from your round bust circumference. So my round bust circumference is 36. Remember what I used as my front arc, what I divided as my front arc was 18.5 inch. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to minus this 18.5 inch from this 36 inches, which is my round bust circumference. So let's do that together. This is 36 and then this is 18.5 inch. So what I'm going to do from this point, I'm going to count to 36. Whatever I have left is what I'm going to divide by 2. So this is 18.5, and then from this point to this point, I have 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this is 17 inches and then this is 36. So what we have left is 17.5 inch. So hope this makes sense. So what I'm going to do now, this is my 17.5 inch. I'm going to fold it into 2. So whatever I have left, I'm going to impute it from my center back. So this is it. I'm going to mark it. So after marking, I'm going to take my curve ruler and then create my armhole. So on my center back, I'm going to divide my waist circumference by 4. Come over for the back hip line. All you need to do, remember what to measure. This was my back arc, which was 22. So whatever yours is, you are going to also divide it by 2. Back arc is like I already said, it's when we are drafting the front pattern. It's like you taking measurements of one side of your hip to the other side of your hip, just like it's being displayed on the screen. So whatever you have, you're going to divide it by 2. So now it's 22. So 22 divided by 2, I'll be left with 11 inches. So I'm going to go in by 11 inches. And then after doing that, I'm going to take my curve ruler, connect to my waistline. So hope this makes sense. So after doing that, whatever you use as your leg, you're going to impute it. Mine is 4, so I'm going to impute it 4 inch. Then I'm also going to take it to my chest line, and then from my waistline I'm going to come down by 6 inches also, and then I'm going to make sure that it's aligning with 4 inches. As you can see, always check, like I usually tell us, so that you make sure you are creating a straight that line. So after doing that, next thing I'm going to do the same measure, the same 1 inch I took at the front is what I'm also going to use at the back. So if you use ½ inch or 0.7, go ahead and do the same thing. So I'm going to connect like this. So go out by 0.3, come over to your hip line, also mark out your 0.3. So after doing that, go ahead and then connect a straight line. So after doing that, whatever you use, if it is 1 inch you use here, mark it at here. If it is ½ inch, mark it at here. So whatever it is you use, replace it here. So I'm going to replace my 1 inch. I already did that, and then I'm going to also connect. For this blouse length, I'm going to be using, I think I'm okay with 7 inches from my waistline. So guys, this is it. So because of the style inspiration we are working with, we're going to be using 4 inches for our neckline. What you're going to do now from this point, so from this point go out by 4 inches. Okay, so go in by 4 inches from our original neckline that we actually created before, and then we're going to create another round neckline. So hope this makes sense. So just mark 4 inches instead of the 3 inches that we did before, and then from that point connect it back to your shoulder slope. So hope this is not confusing. So connect it back to your shoulder slope. We are actually doing this because of the style, because of the style inspiration that we are working with. So we are going to come over to our center back. We are going to go in by ½ inch. So go in by ½ inch. So what you're going to do at the down, whatever allowance you wish to actually add is your choice. So I'm okay with ½ inch, so I'm going to add ½ inch here. So at the side I'm going to add 1.5 inch. So from this point I'm going to, so from your broken line, go add by 1.5 inch. So guys, after doing that, come over here, also add ½ inch. Guys, this is it for the back pattern. So you can actually choose to bring this dart straight to this point. Okay, so I'm going to set the back pattern aside now. So first of all, remember we actually went down by 7 inches from the waistline for the back. So do the same thing with the front pattern. And also bring down your darts. This is it. So after doing that, what you're going to do, you're going to come over here. So go add by 1 inch. So if you are actually on the busty side, use ½ inch, please. So what you're going to do, I'm going to connect this to my bust point like this. Then I'm going to bring it down. Okay, so this is it. So when you're done doing that, what you're going to do, you're also going to come over here. So whatever you have here, you're going to find the midpoint. So in order to do that, I'm going to fold my tape into 2. I'm going to mark whatever I have left as my midpoint. And then from that point, I'm going to connect it direct to my bust point. So take your paper, scissors, and then open up. So after opening up, what you're going to do, you're going to fold this point. So close off your side darts. After closing off your side dart, what you're going to do, you're going to take the measurement of this point from this shoulder to this shoulder point. You're going to take the measurement of what you have. So this is 3 inches. So this 3 inches, I'm going to divide it by 4. So this is 3 inches. So I'm going to fold into 2 like so, and then also fold into 2 to make up for the 4. Okay, so this is it. So whatever I have now, I'm going to come over here. So guys, watch carefully. So come over here, whatever you have, come over here, go add by that inches, mark it, and then come over here, also mark it. So hope this is clear. So after marking, take your straight ruler, connect from this point to your chest line, and then come over here. Okay, carefully retrace your armhole. So come over here, carefully retrace your armhole. After retracing your armhole, what you're going to do, you're going to open up at this point. So open up at this point. As you can see, we already have a very visible line here. Just use your paper, scissors, and then open up carefully. So after opening up, what you're going to do, you're going to close off at this point. So close off this mark we have here. So the first mark we marked, we are going to close it off. So after closing it off, as you can see, our line is broken. So what we are going to do, this broken line, just connect it straight like this. Sorry, we are going to connect it to your neckline. So take it from your neckline, then connect it to your new armhole. So when you're done with that, the next thing we are going to do, from your chest line, you are going to go out by 2 inches. After creating a line, take your curve ruler. So take your curve ruler, we are going to create our princess darts now. So in order to do that, this is where you are targeting. This is where you are targeting. Remember, the side is going to go like this. So make sure the other side is hitting at that 2 inches. Okay, that we went up with. Make sure the other side is hitting at that 2 inches we went up with. And then just go ahead and connect like so. So this is it for our center front, and then this is it for our side front. Okay, so from your normal shoulder line, go up by extra ½ inch. Okay, so go up by extra ½ inch and then connect. Okay, so some usually retrace here, some usually add theirs here, but for me, I go up by extra ½ inch on my shoulder line. So hope this makes sense. So this is it for this. So what we are going to do now, we are going to cut out, but before cutting out, we are going to trace out our center front. So get a fresh pattern paper and then place it on fold. I want you to do something. Okay, so this point, you don't need to make it too deep. So these points, you are going to just blend these points in. So just use your free hand and blend it, okay, so that it won't be too deep. So after doing that, take your tracing wheel. So watch how I'm going to trace out. So you are going to trace out like this. Then take it like this. And then take it through your new armhole like this. And then you're going to take it also like this. Then also trace out your neckline. Okay, so guys, after doing that, what you're going to do for this our shoulder line, you're also going to trace out your shoulder line in it. So this is it for the center front. So what you're going to do, just remove it. Okay, so remove it. So whatever your tracing wheel is showing here, go ahead and mark it out. So guys, this is it for the center front. So before we actually style that, we are going to cut out our side front. So in order to cut out your side front, so just go ahead and then close your side dart. Close your side dart and then go ahead and cut out. Guys, this is it for the side front. We'll set it aside now and then we'll concentrate on the center front. So we are going to style the front. So in order to do that, remember that our chest line, we went up by 2 inches, which is this point. So I'm just going to rule it out. So this is it. So that means if we go down 2 inches downwards, that is our chest line. If you want it revealing, you can actually go down by 2 inches and then use your chest line. So for me, I'm just going to mark 1 inches downwards. So after doing that, what I'm going to do from this my armhole, I'm going to on the shoulder slant, I'm going to come in by 2.5 inch. From this point, come in by 2.5 inch, and then from this point, what you're going to do, from this point, I think I'm okay with this point. This is 3 inches. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is it. And then what I'm going to do, I'm also going to come over here. I'm also going to take out 1 inch from my shoulder line, from my shoulder slope, and then I'm going to connect. So you can either choose to use a straight line or you can choose to use a curve ruler. So whatever you think works for you, that is what you're going to do. So I'm just going to do something like this. Okay, so this is it. And then for this point, I'm going to bring it in like this. Okay guys, so this is it for our neckline. Go ahead and then add your allowance round, 1/2 inch allowance from the neckline, from your shoulder line, and then round. What you're going to do now, just take your paper scissors and then cut out. So guys, this is it for the center front. Okay, so guys, so this is it for the center front, this is it for the side piece, and then this is it for the back pattern. So we are going to go ahead now and then cut out on our fabric. I'm going to cut out my center front. So this pattern is on folds. That is because I want to use my fabric as my lining for the center front. So guys, this is it for the center front. So remember, it was 7 inches from our waistline. Okay, remember it was 7 inches from our waistline. So we are going to cut it out from here. So guys, this is it. So what you're going to do, by the side add 1.5 inch, and then on your armhole add 1/2 inch, and then by the side add 1/2 inch also. So guys, this is for the side front. So I'm also going to go ahead and cut out. So guys, this is for the side front. So I'm also going to set it aside. We're going to come down from the neckline. Okay, remember we already took off 1.5 inch. So I'm going to mark 6 inches here. And then I'm going to use my curve ruler and then connect it back here. So all you need to do now is to add your 1/2 inch and then cut out. So the only point we are adding 1 inch is the center back for our zipper allowance. So guys, this is it. So take your fabric scissors and then cut out. So guys, this is it for the back pattern. So you are going to take off your pattern paper. Okay, place it like this. Place it like that, then bring in your center front. So remember, when you are joining, it's going to be right side facing the right side. So what you're going to do, just pin down on the shoulder line. Okay, so pin down on the shoulder line, as you can see. So all you need to do, you don't need to go too deep so that our back will not be too open. We are just trying to level the shoulder together so that it will be the same length, the same width. So hope this makes sense. As you can see, this is the front part piece and then this is the back piece. So I'm just going to trim off a little like this. Okay, so this is what the back look like. So this is it now. I already leveled the shoulder. Remember when we already leveled the shoulder. Now remember when we are joining, it's going to be right side facing the right side. So we are going to do the same thing with this other piece. Also place it like this. Okay, as you can see, remember it was 4 inches we used, so this one is actually okay. So we are going to set it aside. So guys, what you are going to do now, you are going to go ahead and then cut out your lining.
Guys, this is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. So in our second video, I'm going to share with us step by step on how we are going to put this whole piece together. Thank you so much. See you on my next video.